Hey everyone, welcome back to In the Abyss. Once again, I am Rob Adams of the Actors Workshop, and today we're just going to do a short segment and we're going to talk about auditions. I'm just going to give you a quick blurb on the do's and don'ts. In the class right now, we are going to work on auditioning, and this will be a good reminder for them. If you were not in the class, this will give you a little bit of a tidbit on once again, the do's and don'ts. The biggest problem that actors make when it comes to auditioning is they actually go in trying to audition for the part. And what actors have to realize is you wouldn't be called in if you didn't fit the part. The reason you're being called in is because you do fit the part. Now, once again, that is the externals. You have to remember during the casting process that the people putting the movie together or the show together or whatever have an idea in their head of the part they're trying to cast. What they don't know exactly is who that person is, and thus the reason for auditioning. They're not watching or questioning whether you can act or not, right? If you think about it, nobody's going to interview you for a job, and like a real job. I'm not talking about a job where, you know, they're giving you the first time experience of working. I'm talking about auditioning or interviewing for a job that you're not qualified for, right? If they don't think you're qualified for the job, they're not even giving you the interview. Well, acting's the same way, right? If they don't think you're qualified or can act, they're not going to have you come in and audition. It just doesn't make sense. Time is money, and they're not going to waste their time or their money. So it's not really down to acting, right? And it's not really if you're right for the part. It's you are right for the part, but do you fit what they envision for the part when you audition? And that's something you can't control. There is no way you can get into the mind of the cast director, the director, the producer, etc. You just can't. So the best thing to do is go in and represent you. And it goes back to, if you're right for the part, you're going to get it, or at least get a callback. And if you're not right for the part, okay, then you're not. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're sitting there saying, well, wait a second, Rob, you just said you're right for the part. That's why you're in the room. Externally right for the part. That's why you're in the room. Internally, that's why you audition. And they don't know what they're looking for until they see it. That's why it comes down to, if you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're right. Wrong, excuse me. Because if they look at you and sit there and say, this person's interesting, right? But not right for the part, they're going to remember you for something else. But if you're trying to get a part, and a part you don't even know what they're looking for, then you're kind of isolating yourself only in for that part, and they're not going to remember you for future things. And I'm going to give you two examples of where they knew the right person and stuck with it, right? Of course, the legendary story of Al Pacino and The Godfather, okay? When Coppola was casting that movie, in his mind, Michael Corleone was Al Pacino. Now, he was new to the business from the standpoint of making films, and Paramount really didn't like him. They thought he was boring. They thought he was not right for the part. He didn't look like a star, etc., etc., etc. So they tried to test a lot of different people. And if you watch the making of The Godfather, you'll see some of this. James Caan, who ended up playing Sonny, tested for it. Martin Sheen tested for it. And even to a point where De Niro tested for Sonny, and they thought he was great, but not right for Sonny, which of course went on to go to James Caan, which we just talked about. And then that audition is where they remembered De Niro for Godfather 2, and the rest is history. But anyhow, back to Pacino, he kept just doing his thing, and Coppola just kept sticking him in. Eventually it worked out, and the rest is history. The other one, like I said, is Michael J. Fox, which is Back to the Future. They wanted to cast him as Marty McFly. He couldn't get out of his schedule with Family Ties, which was a show he was filming at the time. So they ended up going with Eric Stoltz, who we all know is a terrific actor. He's had a great career. He's awesome. The problem is, as they were getting this feedback, or the film back and watching him, their gut was, he's not Marty McFly. Well, why was their gut that? Because to them, Michael J. Fox was Marty McFly. So no matter what, right? If someone said in this video and said, I'm Rob Adams, you'd be watching this going, no, he's not, because we know who Rob Adams is, and that's how it works, right? Well, that's the same thing, is that Zemeckis and Spielberg wanted Michael J. Fox. So when they watched Eric Stoltz, they sat there and thought, this guy's a great actor. He's just not Marty McFly. So they ended up working out a deal to get Michael J. Fox and have time to film him. And so they let Eric Stoltz go, right? And once again, it has nothing to do with Eric Stoltz and his acting ability. He's terrific. But to them, it was Michael J. Fox, and eventually they went to that. That's the casting process. When they know, and it's hard to get that out of your head, right? Or their head or whatever. So when you audition, do not go in looking to get the part. You already fit the physical part. Once again, go in and represent you. If you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But they see you. Well, the question is, how do you do that? Well, different than working with an actor, because when you work with an actor, you play off of them and you work on your instincts and you do all those kinds of things. When you're auditioning, you're working with the casting director or a reader. So you have to make an energy choice based on what you're reading, right? And energy choices are not acting choices. So if you read a script and you think it's high energy, a lot of people are going to read that and think it's anger. And then they try to portray anger. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is to pick up a higher energy and speak with more conviction and more direct. And that's how you get a higher energy. So it translates, man, he's angry. But it's just an energy with conviction. So you never lose the actor. You never lose Rob, right? When you start doing this, damn you, then you lose the actor. You lose the person, right? It's what you not want to do. So you want to be able to make those energy choices, right? So there's a high energy. The regular energy, which is the middle energy, is just, if you read the script and it's a conversation, then I'm going to talk in my voice. Now, once again, you sit there and go, wait a second, Rob, if I'm talking in my voice, everybody's energy is the same. No, because everybody's regular energy is different. My regular energy is stronger than a lot of people's energy. There's other people whose energy is lower than people's regular energy. If it's a normal conversation, speak like you speak, right? I'm told all the time, you're being too loud. Well, it's not that I'm being too loud. It's just my normal energy is louder than most. So I'm going to bring that in. And then the last energy is a lower energy, and it's not this. It's not a soft thing. It's your voice at a different pace and just bringing it down a tad. Right? So if you're reading the script and it just seems like it's more of a dramatic situation, for lack of a better term. I hate using those words, but I'll use it. Then maybe I bring it down. Can't believe Bill's gone. It's sad. It's tragic. Because what do actors want to do? I can't believe Billy's gone. Right? It's bad. It's not what you want to do, right? They're not looking for acting. They know you can act. They're looking for behavior, right? And the best part about it is if they want to see something different, that means they see something in you. Hey, Rob, that was great. Can you do it a little bit more sad? Well, my mind has to translate, okay, got to really now bring down that energy. Keep my voice, bring down the energy, and slow down the pacing, because then it's dramatic. And dramatic equals sad in these people's minds. You got to play the game. You got to be smart. You got to give them the Jedi mind tricks, right? These are not the droids you want. Or these are not the droids you're looking for. I want to quote it right. But anyways, that's how you do it. And then there's little twists and turns you can do, little hints you can do that we talk about in class that I'm not going to talk about here. But if you want to learn those things, you'll have to come into class. But that's just kind of a gist of how you approach the audition. Right? Representing you. Hi, I'm Rob Adams, and I'm reading for the part of Bill. And then you do it. Right? Or sometimes, you do the scene first if they want you to, and then you slate at the end. When you're finished, you're like, all right, I'm Rob Adams. That was me reading for the part of Joe. Whatever. Just representing you. Let them see you. And then you do it. And you leave the room, and it is what it is, and you forget about it. Because if you sit there and stew about it, and stew on it, and think about it, I could have done this, I could have done that, or what if I did it? It doesn't work. Do what you do, leave the room, be done, right? And if you do that, you'll be fine, right? You got to realize it's a losing man game. It's like baseball. We always talk about in class, it's like baseball, right? If you bat 300 in baseball, you're a pretty damn good hitter, right? That's 30%. Well, if you're going on 10 auditions and you're booking one job, that's 10%, but that's a pretty good odds for you if you're able to book 10% of your readings, right? It's pretty good. So you have to just look at it as I'm going to go in, I'm going to represent me, I'm going to walk out, and then I'll move on to the next one. And that's the best suggestion I can give for auditions. Just do you, right? And just try to show them that you understand the material and you're doing what you're doing, but don't fall in the traps of acting, because that's when actors fail. Don't fall into the traps of trying to get the part, because that's when actors fail. Just walk in, make your energy choice, represent you, walk out, and be done. All right, so that is our quick, 10, 11-minute blurb on auditioning. I hope this helps a little bit. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. Also, if you want to improve on this, get into class. If you are in class, keep pushing yourself to improve on it. All right, have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.